the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody, and good morning to you, and welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast. We're glad that you joined us wherever it is that you're joining us and whenever it is that you join us each and every day here on the Auburn Blitz Podcast and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. This is Brett. That's Faith over there, and we're glad to be here with you on this Monday. Faith, good to see you as always.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
It's hard to believe another week rolling back around, and we're 1 week closer to the start of the college football season, but a lot going on and a lot that we're going to try to dive into here as media days get started today. Of course, we're going to talk about that in great detail. You and I will be over there tomorrow for Auburn's portion of that. So looking forward to being in Atlanta. But before we get too in-depth and everything, I want to thank some of our partners that allow us to do the show each and every day. And we always start with Sensagreen.
Sensagreen for air that's cool and clean. Call on Sensagreen. They are the carrier experts in the state of Alabama, proud supporter of Auburn Athletics and a proud supporter of the Auburn Blitz Podcast. Your AC is running and running and running. That means it's bound to go out. We just heard about Jason, who's normally on here on Monday mornings. He had a little mishap with his air conditioning unit, so he called on Sensagreen, and they're going to install a new carrier unit at his house, and they're going to save thousands of dollars on that installation. And you know, you've got to have a nice, reliable carrier unit.
I mean, you can't go wrong. And again, I think Jason had no choice. It's been ingrained in his brain, just like it has ours.
Right.
So he makes that phone call to Sensagreen. Also, Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm located in Birmingham, Alabama, and they work on all types of projects, big, huge projects, school builds, renovations, whatever it is that you're looking for. But they take you from the pre-construction planning phase all the way to the finished product and make sure your product is done correctly. They hold people accountable. So call on Scout Program Management. They will take care of you and your next project. And
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. They've got 27 different sports on the golf simulator base. So if you're not good at golf, it doesn't matter because you can do anything over there. And you can always eat the good food. They've got happy hour deals. They've got great food over there. And we love Bunkers in Auburn. They've got 50 parking spaces in the parking garage behind them. So head over there.
Yeah, we're going to be getting back over there extremely soon. So if you can even say that, can you say extremely soon? We're way overdue for getting back to Bunkers. But again, glad that all of you out there have joined us, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Help us continue to grow. That definitely helps us a lot. Okay, Faith, media days tomorrow for us, but it gets started today. Greg Sankey will be up first this morning, and which is just like right now here. Greg Sankey will be talking about the upcoming year and what's going on. And, you know, first of all, what do you want to hear out of Greg Sankey this morning? I kind of got my thoughts on that, but and we'll go through the schedule. I know everybody's seen it, but we'll go through the schedule and kind of go through that. So, but what do you want to hear from Greg Sankey this morning on the podium that you think you ought to hear from Greg Sankey as the commissioner of the SEC?
I mean, I'm just hoping that we hear a little bit more from what they kind of barely, I feel like, touched on down in Florida just a couple of weeks ago, and just on the House settlement rule and how everything is starting to play out. It's just, I feel like we don't know very much of anything, and I think we're long overdue for a conversation from him.
Obviously, there's conflicting viewpoints on how people are approaching this House settlement and how the salary cap is. Obviously, Auburn being basically out here the Lone Ranger, taking the view that they've taken and the stance they've taken. I wonder what Greg Sankey's going to say about this thing. And is he going to clear the air at all? Maybe. We'll see. I think it'll be about as vanilla as you probably can get, because I don't think he wants to be pinned into a corner on that. But I might be completely wrong. He, like you said, we've heard him come out, fighting and saying some things that are pretty curt before. So it will be interesting to hear his thoughts on all of this. And I think it will be something that is very important for maybe the rest of the coaches. Of course, Coach Freeze going tomorrow, with Sankey going today. Will that be more of a backing? Will he get up there and be able to say, hey, you heard what the commissioner said? We're trying to do it this way, and this is the way we feel. Or is it going to be on the other side of things, and Hugh Freeze is going to be asked, well, Commissioner Sankey said this, and y'all are doing it this way. So or it could be just a big bunch of bland, and nobody still knows anything. So I'm excited to see that. I think this media days, like you and I talked about a week ago, is going to be more interesting, Faith, from the standpoint of you've got all this ambiguity and this interpretation of this. Normally it's a kind of cookie cutter, check a box, get up there. Okay, we're about to play football in a month, blah, blah, blah. But everybody's going to have to answer these questions.
Yeah, I feel like in the past there's not been nearly as much pressure, but also just these burning questions that everybody has. And like I said, I think he's long overdue for addressing some of this.
I definitely do. We got some comments coming in, so we'll go ahead and get to some of them. Jim said that early morning for Paul Feinbaum right now, saying that Hugh Freeze sitting on a very hot seat. I think that's pretty much a given. I don't think that's breaking news at all. I think we all been talking about it, till we're blue in the face. And, the bottom line is I don't know that there's a team in the SEC that needs the season to start faster than Auburn. You and I have said that 800 times. So, the only way you get off the hot seats to go out and win some football games. So that's what Hugh Freeze is ready to get to, I'm sure. Kyle, good morning to you. War Eagle out there. Glenn said SEC not going to keep listening to the NCAA anymore. We're already starting to see a path to get away. You don't even hear the NCAA's name said much anymore. It's all about this new sports commission and all. So, all right, what about Kyle here? Faith said, I want to hear what the schedule is going to look like going forward with 2 or 3 permanent teams and the rest rotating. I don't want to see a world without Georgia and Bama on our schedule every year. I think, Alabama and Georgia have picked up the pace and they've kind of separated themselves over the last several years from us. But those are Auburn's 2 main rivals, and you couldn't even imagine a football schedule without either one of those teams on there.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it would be the same. I think everybody thinks that way, that it wouldn't be a football season if we didn't see both of them.
No doubt about it. Also, Kyle interested in Sankey's comments this morning, so we'll catch up to that. Glenn said common sense has to come into play. Texas money is not the same as Mississippi State money and other schools. Again, another topic we talked about, the teams at the bottom of this league. It is going to be hard for them to fight through this new age of college football. They just don't have the resources, and they're fighting from behind. And I'm not saying that it's impossible for them to ever compete for a championship, but I'm pretty much saying it's impossible for some of these teams to ever compete for a championship. You and I have already recorded the show for noon today, so we'll talk some more about that. But you and I talk about that. There's several teams that have never won a national championship in the SEC, and those particular teams I don't see maybe ever winning one. I really don't.
Especially not in today's world. There's no possible way for them to.
Yeah, again, it's about funding and it's facilities and
location too, and
right. But you
all
can't,
those things.
But Texas, but Glenn's dead on here.
Right.
surprisingly, it's been pre-World War II since Texas A&M won a national championship. So if you talk about a program that probably has been maybe the most disappointing college football program in all of programs, it would be Texas A&M with the resources and the money and the stuff that they have. I know Maddie's parents probably not going to like hear us say that because they're massive Texas A&M fans, and that's where she's from. But it's the truth. I mean, you look at Texas. Glenn's talking about the University of Texas, but Texas A&M has a boatload of money too, and they haven't really done much at all. And they haven't done much since they've gotten into the conference. So with that being said, the schedule today, after Greg Sankey, you will have LSU, South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt. So of those 4 teams, I think the 2 most interesting are right at the beginning. I think LSU and South Carolina, I think you got some pressure on Brian Kelly because LSU, they always have great recruiting classes. It's almost a given where they're located, and having the state of Louisiana basically to themselves and being able to go into Mississippi and Alabama down on the coast and over into Texas, LSU is just in a perfect location to always bring in great talent. And Brian Kelly, now that he's been there a few years, LSU fans, we all know, are some of the most impatient fans in the country. So they're expecting him to compete for the SEC. And so you and I talk about where we have LSU today at noon. So we want everybody to tune in to that portion of it. But playing second and third fiddle to Georgia, Texas, and Alabama, they ain't cutting it in Baton Rouge, I can tell you.
No, I think, and what Glenn just said too, for commission to put a cap on a team, once again, you'll go back to paying players under the table. This is kind of, I don't even know if I said this on here, but I know I said it to you when Deion Sanders was talking about this at their media days and paying players for their worth, kind of, and having a salary cap like that in the NFL that they have too.
Right.
It makes more sense, but that's when paying players underneath the table, and he even said that paying them under the table is going to be the same exact thing that they were doing a couple of years ago, and they'll start doing again. And I just don't know if there's ever going to be an answer to anything like that, no matter what the rules are.
If we're all out there expecting there to be some level playing field at some point in time in college athletics, well, we're all waiting for something that's never going to happen. Okay, we're in this position because players wanted to get paid for their worth, their name, image, and likeness, what they bring to the table that they can make extra money. And immediately out of the gate, and again, this is something I know I feel like I say this all the time, but immediately out of the gate, that rule was abused because the colleges started using NIL to pay players to come to their particular schools. That's not what it was designed to do. So really, nothing has ever stopped from a nefarious standpoint. Everybody's continued to do things under the table, all this kind of stuff. So nothing's really changed. I mean, so do we think putting a salary cap is going to make that any better? No, all it's going to be is, okay, now how are we going to have to navigate around this salary cap to still get the recruits that we want to get here? You're Alabama and Georgia and Auburn and any of these schools at the end of the day aren't going to just go, oh, well, that's all we got. That's it. We can't get any. Yeah, we know we got a once in a lifetime player in our state, but we ain't got enough money to go get him this year, because we're already tapped out. That ain't happening, people. So it's a game that everybody's going to have to play. Everybody's competing to win. So when you do that, you're not conceding any. If you're conceding, you are losing. You are going to lose. I think that's what's made so many Auburn fans nervous, that we are in the 80s in recruiting right now. Everybody else is just out here grabbing and getting commitments and everything that they can get. And we're sitting over on the sideline going, just wait. Here we go. It's all going to be okay. You know, I don't know that we can say it's all going to be okay. You know, so just my little take there. Glenn said, remember Nike, Oregon said no limit. I mean, yeah, do you think Phil Knight's going to that man wants to see Oregon win a national championship, and not to be morbid, but he's getting on up there in age. He's like, I don't care what we got to do. I've spent my whole life pouring into Oregon football. I want to see you guys win a national title. So it brings up a great point. So you got some of these schools that are just loaded for bear, willing to do whatever the heck it takes to win a championship. Justin said, interested to hear Sankey's comments. Yes, that's what we opened the show up with, Justin. We talked about that. He's up first. Obviously, he should be on the podium right now as we're doing this podcast. So, you know, we'll catch up and hear. If y'all are watching that and want to add any thoughts to that you're hearing him say, please do so. We definitely want to hear from that. So let's also thank some more of our partners here, Faith, here on the program. We can't do the show every day without them, and one of them is Sure Shot.
Sure Shot. They've got all your firearm apparel and hunting needs. They sell and trade new and used firearms. It's always hunting season, so it doesn't matter if that goes for apparel or if it goes for target practice. You could always use target practicing. Sure Shot's going to be able to help you out, safes, anything of the sort. Scott, he's awesome. He knows literally everything when it comes to any of that. Right up Highway 280, 256-329-0080. Oliver Ross, if you've got a party of 20, or if you've got a convention, wedding, sorority, fraternity, day party, anything like that, all the way up to 20,000 people. Oliver Ross is certified and licensed bartenders, so they're going to be able to make sure that they take care of the bartending while you focus on the entertainment, the hostessing, everything like that. And you don't even have to worry about doing 3 different things at once, because Oliver Ross is going to be able to take care of you.
Well, you're on a roll this morning.
Yeah.
You didn't even stumble at all. That was just through unbelievable commercials there by Faith. All right. Okay. A couple more comments coming in, and we're going to get to some more of this. Would Nike give Auburn money to get a player? It's a good question. You know, they wanted to have this contract, and I think Nike wants their teams to compete for championships, but they got a boatload of teams. So what would Phil Knight's preference be? For Oregon to be the national champion, not Auburn. Kyle said that you sounded like a true professional. I mean, she is a true professional, Kyle, right?
So are all of our partners.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to all of our partners. We could not do the show without them. All right, so the afternoon we'll have Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. Lane's always about.
He's always got something to say.
Well, he's just a smart ass. I mean, let's just be honest. He's on there and he's like, well, you know, everything is already pre-thought that comes out of his mouth, and you know, he's just a guy that you can't. I mean, I can't take anything he says seriously. I think everything is a joke to him. I think everything is like, you know, trying to take a cut at somebody or making somebody say something. So, yeah, I can't take him seriously. He's a good football coach. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he's a smart ass. So I think that's what you'll get. He'll have a real brief statement, and then he'll come out and take some questions, and I don't think there'll be much to that. I do think Ole Miss is ready for him to get them to the playoffs too. You know, they laid a couple of hard-boiled eggs last year that prevented a really good team from being in the playoffs, and all they did was whine and complain that they weren't in the playoffs. Well, don't lose to Kentucky and don't lose to Florida, and you are in, or just beat one of them. Just beat one of them. You know, you have to beat both of them, but don't lose to one of the crappiest Kentucky teams in recent memory at your place. At your place. So, Yeah, Justin said Lane fishes as much as I mean, he tweeted Hugh yesterday while he was on a fishing boat in Orange Beach, by the way. So everything is an innuendo or a shot at somebody. So Vanderbilt, does anybody care? Sorry, Lyndon. I mean, nobody. I mean, Diego Pavia will be there. He'll kind of be the talk for Vanderbilt, but outside of that, I mean, it's Vanderbilt. I mean, I hate to say it. They're going to talk about them beating Auburn and Alabama last year, and there'll be a little bit of chatter of Diego Pavia calling out Alabama, and the media will try to get that revved up. But I mean, it's only so much you can talk about with the Vanderbilt Commodores. Okay, tomorrow, you and I will be there. John McDade, the SEC coordinator of football officials. That's always interesting. Rule changes, anything that we should be looking for this season. I think everybody complains about replay every year. So I'm sure there'll be some questions on that and how long it just drags things out sometimes. And so I'm sure that'll be talked about. And then Auburn will be up, Faith, at 9:00 this time tomorrow. So you and I will be there. And Hugh Freeze will be front and center. What do you think? What do you think the first question will be?
I don't know. I think anywhere from just his expectations this year for Auburn, but also kind of just how his team is. There's just been a lot of changes, I think, with some of the recruiting classes and things like that. And I think that's probably going to be one of the first questions that if he feels any pressure there, or why he thinks Auburn is looking at the house settlement a different way than everybody else.
I think that'll be the first one.
Yeah.
I think right out of the gate, somebody's just going to bluntly go, Coach, are y'all making a good decision?
I mean, because out of everybody, why is Auburn looking at it a different way than every other team that's going to be there? And I think potentially Georgia's up right after Auburn. I think Kirby could get asked a question of, what do you think Hugh is doing and why? Why do you think he's looking at it differently than everybody else?
Well, I think coaches are going to be asked that. I think they're going to all say, I think Auburn's going to be talked about a lot in media days by everybody else. I think because they're going to be referenced and they're going to say, well, Auburn's doing this. What do you guys think? And it's going to give everybody an opportunity to say, well, I'm sorry to tell them they're looking at it wrong. Or they're going to say, well, that's their choice. They can do however they want to do. We're going to do it this way. It's going to be a reference and a comparison to Auburn constantly over the next 3 days. I think that's what you're going to see. So Auburn's press conference, for multiple different reasons, is going to be very interesting tomorrow. Lots of things that are going to be asked, from national media down to us, the local people that do this every single day and follow Auburn. So, we'll be bringing you a live from there at some point in time tomorrow after we get done. Like you said, we're going to stick around for Georgia. Definitely want to hear what Kirby's got to say. And, tomorrow is a very loaded day with Tennessee and Texas coming in the afternoon. You got Steve Sarkisian. I mean, let's just be honest, two of the favorites to win the SEC this year are tomorrow.
Yep.
With Texas and Georgia. And, of course, you got Tennessee, who made the playoffs as well. Josh Heupel will be there. Auburn kind of sticks out, unfortunately, for all of us on this podcast, like a sore thumb. But those three are playoff teams, and we're trying to get back to that point. But we have a lot of interest because of the way we're approaching things. I think tomorrow is going to be a really, really big day. I think today is kind of, kind of you get to hear Greg Sankey this morning, but I think there's going to be a lot of interesting quotes and things coming out of tomorrow's press conference. There'll be some today too, like I said, with Lane Kiffin and some of those things. So, and then on Wednesday, you got Alabama, Mississippi State in the morning. Then you got Florida and Oklahoma in the afternoon. I've got a couple of thoughts on that. What stands out to you about any of those teams, Faith, on Wednesday?
Well, we've talked about just Kalen DeBoer and how imperative it is for him to reach the playoffs so far. And I think that's going to be something that might get asked just because it's been tough for Alabama fans to understand that Nick Saban's actually gone from their program.
Yeah, another year missing the playoffs will not do him any favors at all. Then poor Mississippi State. You talk about, again, a team and a program that has got to be staring up at the peak of Mount Everest going, is there any possible way we could ever get there, even if everything fell in place for us? I just don't know what you do there. I mean, Jeff Lebby, what do you say? I mean, you go out and you get the best players you possibly get, and you go out and work hard and try to coach them up. But, I mean, I just think I can go try to coach against Kansas City and against whoever in the NFL with a Pee Wee League team, and it don't matter. You can't get to that level. And I'm not sure Mississippi State can get back to that level. I mean, we know a dynamic quarterback like a Dak Prescott or a Cam Newton can really make up for deficiencies. But in this new world, I don't know if that even would be enough anymore. I mean, you just got to go get such a loaded roster to be able to compete with the teams that are already at the top of the heap, like the Ohio States and the, it pains me to say it, the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Texases of the world. We're trying to get there too. Now we're right there on the cusp. I mean, we're building roster and recruiting classes that'll get us there. You can't recruit in the 80s one year. You can't take this massive of a step backwards and expect to do that. So there is a lot of ground to be made up. Kyle said, do you think Auburn will pivot from its current recruiting stance after August 1? Starting next week based off of what all of these coaches, commissioners have to say? I think that would be horrendous. You've doubled down, basically. And if you were to sit here and if you changed your approach after this, Faith, now everybody goes, well, all you did was waste 2 months while everybody –
two of the most important months.
Yeah, and then it just makes you look even dumber because you go, well, we thought we had it figured out and we really didn't. And now we're going to have to change. And it's like you, again, doubling down. I'm right. And if they were to change, it would really be, to me, pie in the face.
I agree. I think a lot of people think a lot of things are going to change after August 1st. But if Auburn is going to go and change their stance on everything, it's just showing – especially after what we hear tomorrow is going to be which I'm assuming they're going to double down again tomorrow and they're going to say, well, we took it this way and we think we're doing it right. If they were to do something differently.
I'm with you. It wouldn't look good. It's not going to look good, period. All right. And you got Florida and Oklahoma in the afternoon tomorrow on Wednesday. A lot of pressure on Billy Napier. DJ Lagway is the guy for them. You worry about him staying healthy. I think everybody does. But if he does stay healthy, I think they can definitely make some noise. It's time for Billy Napier and the Florida Nation eyeballs to say, look, it's your time to take this program back to where we want it to be. And if he can't do it, I think if he were to lay an egg this year, he will be gone. Billy Napier is on a hot seat for sure. And then I think Brent Venables is on a massive hot seat too. He goes out and gets, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the transfer portal in John Mateer. He adds, Jay Knott to the backfield from Cal. We've already seen him. They tried to vamp up their offense, which was horrendous last year. Oklahoma, again, you and I picked our order of finish at noon today, so we want everybody to see it. I don't have, nor do you have, a lot of confidence in Oklahoma to have a stellar year.
No, which is crazy that we have them about, I think we talked about this last week, about 55-60% chance of Auburn winning.
Yeah, they're 50. It's 50. It's 50 to 55% Auburn.
Yeah. And having the way that we just spoke about them.
Yep, a little eye opening for the Sooner Nation for sure, and they're frustrated. And by the way, it's been since 2000 since they've won a national title, so it's been 25 years for a very storied program. Again, you got to remember they've been playing out in the Big 12.
I was going to say, especially with them coming into the SEC.
Yeah, not getting easier.
Yeah, you're competing with these higher talented teams and things like that you want to prove yourself of why you're in this conference now.
I remember
Texas is out there really doing it.
Yeah, I remember a talk show a few years ago, and the guy said that Oklahoma will be the next Nebraska. They will be the program that was a storied program that goes to complete irrelevancy because of moving to the SEC. And it's hard to argue. I mean, they're headed down that path right now. They're in a tough place to recruit. You're competing against, this juggernaut in the SEC, and you can say what you want to, but if Auburn gets their stuff turned around, you got Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Texas. They're almost a Missouri-ish feeling program. I know that is crazy to say, but I vividly remember this conversation on another program, and they said, just write it down. Oklahoma will be the next Nebraska. They were dominant and just kicked everybody's tail, and then all of a sudden they went away, and everybody wonders why they went away. And I think it's, like you said just a minute ago, geography has a lot to do with it. I think they spend the money and they've got facilities, but, Nebraska they ain't been a force since the 90s, really. So, and everybody thought, well, Nebraska, if you'd have told everybody Nebraska was going to be irrelevant in 2025, everybody back in the 90s, everybody would have laughed in your face. But what have they done in the last 20-something years? Nothing. So, that's just another thing. You can become irrelevant. Tennessee hadn't won a national title since 1998. If you'd have told people back in the late 90s that Tennessee would become a afterthought in the SEC through the 2000s, they would have laughed in your face. So don't ever say never. That's why Auburn's sitting here going, we've had 4 losing seasons in a row. We need to turn this thing around now. We need to get going. Yeah. All right, Thursday, you got Kentucky, Missouri, and Arkansas, Texas A&M. And, boy, you talk about ending on a blah note. I'm sorry. There ain't nothing exciting about that day.
No.
That's a bunch of blah. All right. So Glenn said, why is AU the only team that is taking this stance? Good question. And so we'll find out hopefully throughout the next 3 days why Auburn has taken this stance. So, all right. Couple more things I want to talk about. Obviously, Ike Irish, Faith, big time news yesterday with Ike getting drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. So congratulations to him. That's a big deal. Another first-round draft pick for Auburn. Kind of thoughts on him. I mean, he's been a great ambassador for Auburn baseball. He ended his career with a 350 batting average, 39 home runs, 48 doubles, and 167 RBIs, and hit 364 this past year. The 10th first-round draft pick for Auburn. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think it's awesome for him, and a little bit lower than I think a lot of people expected, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought maybe again going 19th. I think a lot of I saw top 10ish. But you never
11,
know
10.
with
Yeah.
certain, again, like with the NBA draft, you may be a better player than where you actually get drafted. It's because the teams that were drafting in front needed a different position or needed something else. Not that you weren't up to par. It was that they were looking for something different.
Right,
So
right.
it could have been more of that. But anyway, 19th pick, we'll get him probably $4 to $5 million in that position. So hey, pretty solid day.
Absolutely.
So congratulations to Ike Irish there. He joins Greg Olson, Frank Thomas, Brian Hepson, Chris Bootcheck, Gabe Gross, Josh Donaldson, Anthony Greer, Casey Mize, who was number 1, by the way, and then Tanner Burns. So some really, really, if you look at Greg Olson and Frank Thomas, and, I was in school with Brian Hepson in 97. And, I mean, Josh Donaldson, his career in the major leagues and what he's been able to do, and Casey Mize going number 1 a few years ago. Yeah, that's high honor there for sure. And then finally, unfortunately, Todd Pettiford. I know we haven't said anything about it, but happened over this weekend. We talk about it some more in detail today at lunch, along with everything else that we talk about. But just, issues a statement, is remorseful, apologetic, understood that he made a mistake. Wanted to let everybody know that's not him, and he's gonna show everybody that it's not him. But again, thankfully, nobody at the end of the day, Faith, was hurt or killed. And again, it's a serious offense because of the potential of what you can do when you do something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the most selfish things that you can do, and especially with him being under the age of 21, um, it it doesn't matter how much he could have had to drink, whether it was just one or um, one and a half. It doesn't matter for him, and him being able to learn from it, like you said. Actions speak louder than words, and I'm sure we're not going to be able to see if he's out there going and doing that, but um, it is something that you hope that for himself and for the safety of others, that you hope he goes and he learns from this. And um, it's starting by taking accountability is the first step of doing that.
Couldn't say it better myself. It's all about accountability. And again, not just saying something, but actually going out and proving it. Going back to a comment from Kyle. Kyle said the only thing good about that last day lineup is that we play all those teams. It'll be interesting to hear their players' thoughts. Yeah, from that standpoint, it will be. We do play all of those teams. And again, that goes kind of outside of Texas A&M, goes to the what the point we've been talking about in this schedule. This is a very favorable schedule for Auburn. So the reason it's blah that last day is because there's not very many impressive teams, and Auburn happens to be playing all of them. So Auburn needs to be able to take care of business. Glenn said that was an honorable statement, and he hopefully learns, and that's what we all hope for as well with Tahad. So, all right, closing out the program here, a couple more of our partners. Old Number One Customs.
Old Number One Customs, if you've got an outdoor living situation that you want to take care of, master bathroom or kitchen, anything of the sort, Old Number One Customs will come in and out of your house in just 2 weeks and be able to fully renovate, gut everything, and make it beautiful once again. So don't DIY it in 2 years. Get it done with Old Number One Customs in just 2 weeks.
Call them at 334-752-6162. I think they are coming to lay everything out for us on Thursday for our master bathrooms. Looking forward to that. JFA Blue Plumbing.
While you're at it, you might as well go ahead and get a Home Atlas water filter duo for just $15.99. You
Are you a
cannot.
spokesperson for Jake now?
Yes, I am. You can't put a price on health, but think about that big old bathtub you're going to be filling up, Brett. You don't want to have those nasty hard water lines sitting around the tub or anything gross growing off of that tub because you don't have filtered water coming through all of your pipes. Home Atlas Water Filter Duo will make sure every single faucet in your house has filtered water coming out of it. So call on JFA Blue Plumbing at 844 JFA Blue.
I have to call Jake and see if you're getting a commission off this. Just have to wait and see. So anyway, Kyle, appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate all of you that watch. And again, we couldn't do it without our partners, couldn't do it without you guys. If you have not subscribed, please go out there and subscribe. Help pass the word along to everybody. That helps us out tremendously. Again, Faith and I will be back up at noon today. We did record that show last night, but it's a fun show. We had a fun time last night.
It's a good one for sure.
We give our SEC Media Day preview of our 1 to 16, how we projected order of finish for us. So you can go in there and see if, hey, and not to talk about this, we'll talk about this probably tomorrow, Faith, but I did send that over to you, the ESPN FPI predicted order of finish, and I went back and I looked at mine and yours, and just saying it was pretty close. We have a couple that are off. One that's really favorable for you, and one that you're going to laugh at me about, and I'll just let you know it's the Florida one. They're more along the lines of you thinking with Florida than I am, but we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But a little bit of surprise on some of these, but. Yep, you'll just have to tune in at noon to see how Face and my predictions kind of pan out. So we'll see who's right or who you think's right and who you think's off. So, all right, Faith, tomorrow we will be on the road at SEC Media Days. We're looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we will be bringing a live for everybody from Atlanta at some point in time. Don't know when that'll be, so make sure if you're subscribed to YouTube, then you'll know when we come on there. It'll pop up and give you a notification, and we'll also be on Facebook as well. So make sure you tune that in. So, all right, Faith, send us out. As always, we hope everybody has